we follow the rabbit.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to another session on Python. So today we will be discussing these following topics. Okay, so today we'll be discussing like data parsing, error handling, external, how to bring in external packages. So in this particular session, our focus will be basically formatting text, extracting patterns, handling standard web data formats, and basically error handling and bulletproofing our code against runtime failures. Okay, so we will be discussing about advanced text patterns and interactions using Python string formatting, then Python user input, then the non-keyword. Then we'll also take a look at Python regex, which is regular expression, which is a very powerful miniature language used exclusively for pattern matching inside strings. Okay, and it is also used by importing the built-in re module. You can extract all email addresses from massive text file, validate if a string matches a phone number format, or strip out unwanted special characters. Okay. Apart from that, apart from after regex, we'll also take a look at web data. So yeah. So after regex, we will also take a look at how to handle web data, then create safety nets and package management using web data. We'll use JSON format, which is basically JavaScript object notation formats, and JSON loads, or how to convert Python dictionaries into JSON loads, and then to create a safety net, how to use try except, and then for package management we'll also take a look at how to use pip. Okay, now let's go ahead and uh, start looking into the code. Okay, now in the first example, so we will take string formatting as our first example. So here, okay. So we are basically importing the regular expression module. So import RE. So we will be using as we go along. So okay. In this first example, basically I'm creating a variable revenue. I'm assigning some value, and then I'm creating another variable called missing data, and for that I'm assigning none. Okay. So basically using format specifiers in F string. So basically we will add colon, comma, then forces and two decimal places. Okay. So here what we are doing. So after revenue, we are adding forces. Okay, so basically like two decimal places if I want to add, and then I'm just printing out this variable report. Okay, after that, in this particular example, I'm just creating a if condition. If missing data is none, then print warning data point is missing none. Okay, now let's go ahead and execute this. Okay, so for our first example, total revenue, so you can see for two decimal places, I've used .2f, so it'll limit it to two decimal places, and then it will also bring in colon and then comma as well. Okay, so here $45, so every 1,000 value it will put a comma, and then for yeah, so basically then since I have printed it, it's just printing. Now next, if missing data is none, so is none, how to handle, like if my data is having none, so warning data point, missing none. Okay, so this is how we can handle it. Now let's go ahead into our next example. Okay. In this next example, so we will create a user input. Okay. So for user input, we already have a function called as input, and this is how we can use it. So we can create user input as, we can use input function, pass in a string, and then after that string, whatever values we are passing, it will pass into this particular variable. Okay. Since we have used this input variable. Okay. Now, since the value that we are using will be a string, so we have used in quotes. So that's why I want to bring it into my string. Whenever I'm doing a print using format, I want to bring it as an integer because I want to add some value. So I've used int. Then on int, on user underscore age, I have used int. So this will basically convert this user underscore age, which will be a variable at this point, and then after, which will be text at this point, and after passing int, it will just convert this one into an integer. Then after converting an integer, I'm passing in or adding a value 5, and this is the way normally we pass variables, right? Or we pass values. So in curly brackets. So basically using this entire string. So I will be able to print the text value along with this calculation. Okay. And on top of it, like we'll also print input requires the input function and casting. This process, if you remember, we take a look at earlier videos where I've mentioned what is casting. So converting the data types from one format to other is basically mentioned as casting. So basically, this is how we can do it. Okay. Now, after that, yeah. So let me just comment out this portion. Okay. So now let me just execute. Okay, so it wants, since I've used input function, I will pass some function like 5, and then in 5 years you will be 40 years old. User input requires, then put whatever text I have passed in, that text is being displayed here. Okay. Now let's take a look at next example, which is basically regex. Okay. So here, basically, I'm creating a messy log. I've created a variable, and then the variable basically gives me a log record. Okay. So now, what I want to find out the emails in this particular string using regex pattern, and I also want to find out, or I want to break down, I want to do a pattern breakdown where word characters at the rate word characters and then dot word characters. Okay, so this is how I want to break it down. So email, so I can start with email. I can create a variable email pattern equals to R, then within double quotes, I have to pass in /w, which will give me the which will give me the word characters. Okay, and then in this particular format. Okay, plus at the rate again word characters, plus after dot all the word characters, and then it will yeah, after dot all the word characters. Then if I've created the variable and then I want to find everything, okay, all the variables with this particular format, and then from the text messy log, I can do that. So using find re dot find all. Okay. Then if I just go ahead and print extracted emails, this is just a print and found emails, this variable will get the result. Okay. Now in the next example, apart from find all, we can also use sub. So basically, again, if I'm having a phone number, and this is how we can extract the phone number. Okay. R then double quote slash D comma then double characters. Okay, so space. Okay, messy phone numbers. So which basically represents non-digits. Okay. Now then we just print out the phone number. Okay. So now if I just go ahead and execute. Okay. So now you can see extracted email. So this is how we can extract emails. Okay, which we had in our text. And then for phone numbers again, since I've used this pattern, so it's identifying my phone number as well. Okay, in terms of logics, I'm not very comfortable with regex, especially when it comes to character extraction. I mean, you can do more research and find what are the other functions that are available in regular expressions, which will make life a lot easier in terms of extracting data within a particular string. There are also other features as well, but yeah, you can just take a look at it for more inputs on regular expressions. Okay. Now, apart from that, okay. Next, let's talk about JSON. So handling JSON formats. Okay, why JSON format in particular? Because APIs use JSON loads. So basically, it is very important to understand your JSON load. And apart from APIs, there is a lot of web data from different social media applications, web applications, which handle the backend using JSON format. So JSON right now is very lightweight. That's why a lot of applications they use JSON format, especially when it comes to web applications. So it is very important you understand how JSON works. So basically, it's a similar structure with just like you have in dictionary where you have key and value. So JSON also has a similar structure. Okay, key and value. Okay. Now let's take a look at the example. Now, if you take a look at it, so we are creating a dummy API. So this is basically kind of a variable, okay, where we are creating this dictionary, okay, but it's not yet, it's just a raw string, not yet a dictionary because we have not created it in particular like a dictionary. But yeah, the string, if you can see the structure and everything, looks like a dictionary, okay. Now, I want to convert this raw string into a JSON load, okay. Now, I will create a variable passed, or I have created a variable passed underscore data equals to JSON dot loads API response. So this API response, the variable I have passed in, just like we are doing casting, right? It is something very similar. So JSON dot loads, then API underscore response. And remember, you have to also import JSON library or JSON module. Without that, it will not work. Okay. Now, I just want to print just like we had been printing keys, right? So, name being a key. So, if I want to print out parse name, which is Jane Smith, and then parse skills at the location 0. Okay. So, we can, or we will be able to print it. Okay. So, for the first example, I will just comment and then print out. Okay, so now you can see the first skill what is the skill? Yeah, the skill, zeroth skill is Python. Okay. And since it has displayed Python and parts name, we have provided the key. So that's why it's giving us the key. So in parse data, along with key, since there are two values, we have provided like which particular value we want to address or target. So this is 0 and 1. So we have to provide along with the key also the index value. Okay. Now in the next example, okay. So what we have is payload. So basically, we are creating in the first exam in the second print. So first print we are already discussed. The second print. So basically, we have created a dictionary. Okay, Python underscore dictionary, and this is the key and value, right? So we have created the key value and JSON output. So basically, we can create from dictionary. If you want to convert anything to JSON, we can use JSON dot dumps, okay, where we pass in the Python dictionary, and then we provide indent is equal to 4, so that we have it just identifies whenever you're using Python dictionary, you can use this indent as 4. Okay, so this is a default parameter that you can pass. Apart from that, after doing that, you can just go ahead and print payload, and it comes to next line using slash n, and then if you print out the JSON output, so basically you'll get the JSON payload. Okay, this comes in very handy when you have an API and the API accepts some payloads. So this type of format comes in very handy. Okay. Now, apart from that, like try accept. So if you have done SQL, in SQL, you have uh, something very similar, like before even writing or to handle error. Um, Okay, so now basically what I'm creating a function process underscore data. Within the function, I'm passing the value data underscore value. So first I'll go try. And if my try fails, only then it will go into uh, accept. Okay, so if my try fails, only it will go to accept. So in the try, I'm passing in a condition like result equal to 100 by data value, whatever data value I'm passing in. And then if the division is providing me a result, then it will give me a result. If the division is not providing me a result, like something like infinity or something, in that particular scenario, I will be going into these accepts. Okay, so accept zero division, when we have the error zero division error, it will print this. When we have like a type error, okay, where rather than providing a number, I provide text, I will get this. And finally, for everything else, I will once it comes out of the loop, it will print out execution block completed. Okay, so now if I go ahead and execute. Okay, so now you see in the first case when 25, okay, execution success 4, so execution block completed. When the value is 0, so it is zero division error. So we are getting cannot divide by 0, defaulting to 0. Okay, in the third case, it's a text, so invalid data type provided. Okay, so we are getting, so every time since we have execution completed as our final print, so it's printing execution completed every time. Okay, or execution block completed every time. Okay. Now, apart from that, there are some libraries which will not be available by default. So we can use this pip install, but using pip install, we cannot use it on a Python file. So we have to use it in the terminal itself. Okay. So like for example, if I want to see all the packages that have been installed, I can use pip list. Because there are a lot of packages that have been installed. So you can see all the packages that I have installed. So it's giving me the complete list. Okay. Apart from that, if you want or if you want to output your environment's requirements through a file, you can also use pip freeze, and then whatever location you have in that, you can pass in or create all the files that you want. You can create it in requirement docs. Like for example, you want to install pandas, numpy, or maybe something else. You can put it in the requirements and you can run it once. It will read, and then it'll pick those up. Okay. Apart from that, this you will be using day in and day out. I mean, not day in and day out. A lot of times. So pip install whatever, like if you want to install numpy pandas, so it will be pip install numpy or pip install pandas, and then you'll be able to import it locally and use it within your environment. Okay. So with this, we will end today's session. This is our last session or a brief overview on Python. Going forward, we will also do additional sessions on DSA. So keep following and keep watching the videos. Hope you all have liked it. In case if you feel I've missed something, yes, I'm not going to cover in this particular series the OOPS topics. But yes, if you feel like it is needed, feel free to comment so that I can also cover those topics as well. So with this, we will end today's session, and thank you so much for watching the video. In case if you have any comments, feel free to post it in the comment section. Thank you.